People wake up on a normal day and suddenly something happens that changes their lives completely.
Pediatric trauma call, 15 minutes.
A lot of really bad things happen to really good people, but you never think it's going to happen to you.
Stabbed 5 times, including chest, and has got an arterial bleed from his leg.
High-speed RTC moped into a wall.
Jesus Christ, what happened? You all right?
I love my wife.
A&E reception, can I help you? Yeah, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I love that question. What's your opening hours?
St George's, London, one of the busiest and most advanced A&E departments in the world.
Complete baloney amputation of her leg.
I can't breathe.
He looks frail, doesn't he? He looks like somebody who's going to break.
I think it's going to be one of those days.
A place where life,
Darling, what's for dinner?
love,
Still as beautiful as ever.
We have a boy.
and loss
Don't make me cry.
unfold every single day.
And they said there's nothing they can do.
All the patients you're about to see were treated in just one 24-hour period.
You don't know how lucky I am to be talking to you right now.
We see situations where someone's life has just been turned upside down. People always try and remember what the last conversation was, or the last words that that person said to them. And I suppose it's so much nicer if the words that they remember are, "I love you."
Don't get too comfortable there. He's been a first-class invalid, just sat in the chair and been weighted on hand and foot. Typical, yeah.
They got it into a good position for you. They managed to get the length back as well. It does look very traumatic afterwards, doesn't it? I love looking after the older generation. A lot of elderly people you come across always say to me, "Don't get old," but I don't know. I think I'll probably be like a bit of a mad old lady with all my stories.
I've no idea what I'm going to be like when I'm older. You know, especially when you're younger. I remember when I was like 20 and the thought of being 35 just seemed so far away and like terrifying, which is just hysterical now.
Do you think about getting old?
Being honest, it concerns me.
Did they find it hard to get a cannula in you before at all?
Pardon?
Did they have difficulty putting that in, or did they go, all right? No.
It's just that I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
You got recess. You get to meet all these little old ladies with their stories, and some people have some amazing stories. They've been through a lot, and it's quite a privilege to be able to kind of have that snapshot window into their life.
There we go, brilliant.
Although with age perhaps comes further knowledge, further experiences and different things, ultimately life ends. When you age, your body shuts down. It makes you appreciate the times that you have now to just live life to the full.
Hello, A&E Resus. Yeah. Yeah. 76, yeah. 15 minutes. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Transfer from Croydon. Thinking straight, right-sided weakness.
Ultimately, the reason why the phone's gone off is because the London Ambulance Service have triggered a priority. So therefore, the patient is probably quite sick.
A 76-year-old woman has suddenly lost sensation down her right side during a routine hospital appointment in Croydon. She's been transferred to St George's, a specialist stroke centre.
Adult thrombolysis, ETA 15 minutes. So it's a 76-year-old lady, queer having a stroke, right side weakness. Obviously, I know what's coming. I think this is not good. You know, this is a tragic situation. We need to do everything possible to save their life. And that information can sometimes be a bit of a burden, but actually, you just need to think, what do I need to do to make sure that when this patient comes in, we are ready to provide top quality service for this patient.
On slide, ready, steady, slide.
This is Margaret. This morning put in for angiogram at Mayday. Shortly after, doctors noticed that she had a notable right-sided weakness. Margaret is also complaining of, as you can see there, involuntary movement on the specific to the leg.
The specialist stroke team have been called and must quickly identify if Margaret has suffered a stroke in order to administer a clot-busting drug.
Can you tell me how old you are?
It is 76.
Have you got pain?
Yes.
Where's the pain?
Here.
Can you describe the pain? What does it feel like?
It's like somebody pressing a weight on my chest.
Tell me about this jerking of the left side of your body. When did that start?
It was all over my body, my shoulders and my legs.
Both sides?
It is just jumping all over the place. Yeah, I can't stop it once it starts.
OK.
Doctors are also concerned that the involuntary movement in Margaret's leg could be caused by neurological damage to her brain.
Have you ever had anything like this before?
Never.
OK.
Margaret's best friend Barbara had accompanied her to her initial hospital appointment. She's been notified of Margaret's condition and is on her way to St George's to be with her.
I'd originally gone in with her to the University Hospital in Croydon because she was going to have just a straightforward angiogram. And I was going to get a phone call from the hospital to come and pick her up. So I went home and just waited. And waited rather a long time. I was a bit concerned. They rang and said that they thought she'd had a stroke.
Order CTA as well, yeah.
You always think of a stroke as perhaps being paralysed down one side. She was such an active person. She loves her walking, and I thought, gosh, if she's had a stroke, you know, how's she going to cope?
Is the sensation different? It is, less on this right side.
That side.
I've known her for 48 years. We first met when we shared different bedsits in a big house in South Croydon, and we've been friends ever since. It would leave a massive hole if anything happened to her. Yes, it would. I'd miss her an awful lot.
A&E, can I help?
Yeah, the stitches. It has to have a stitch, otherwise it'll leave a big nasty scar. You don't want a scar, do you?
Can't they just put a plaster on it?
No, plaster won't heal it.
I went all the way to London yesterday to find a Hollister shop.
Why?
Because I just wanted a couple of plain cotton T-shirts that are going to last me 6 months.
So you went to Hollister?
Nice. I like Hollister, though. I like Hollister. I'll do. Have you ever been to Hollister? It's the
Triple
smallest.
the price?
It's not. It's like 12 quid for a top, 15 quid. It lasts me 6 months. It's fine.
When did you go to Westfields? Or yeah, Kingston?
Well, where were you yesterday?
So the only deficit is weakness in the right leg, but the twitching is all over, which is slightly unusual.
76-year-old Margaret has been rushed to St George's suffering a suspected stroke.
The blood pressures were similar on both sides, weren't they?
The stroke team are concerned that the involuntary movement in her leg is being caused by damage to her brain and must scan her head before administering a clot-busting drug.
Should we see if they're ready in the scanner?
Her best friend Barbara has arrived in Resus to be with her.
Hi. Oh, I said one friend was coming. Would they be able to come in and see me?
Yeah, no. And she said, oh, I'll go and find out. And that's when they said I could come in, so...
Oh, good, good.
She's always been a very happy-go-lucky person. You'd hear her, you know, singing as she ran up the stairs. And she was just sort of fun to be with. She had a motorbike and we used to go out visiting friends and she used to take me down to see my family. We didn't go on any double dates or anything like that. She did actually go to Paris with one of my boyfriends for a long weekend.
How comes Margaret was in Paris with your boyfriend?
Because I didn't want to give him the idea that I was too keen. He was working over there at the time. And I thought if I went on holiday, he might get the wrong idea, so I sent her instead.
Brilliant.
Margaret is being taken for an urgent CT scan to identify if a stroke is causing damage to her brain.
She's not married. And she has lost her mum and her a sister and brother. So she tends to have a sort of a quiet Christmas.
So you just need to hold your head really straight.
But no, she has spent Christmases with us and she comes down to Devon to see my daughter and the grandchildren. She has always been like a big sister.
Breathe in and hold your breath.
She's always been there and she would be missed if she wasn't.
There he is, the plonker. You plonker up there.
You're talking about the man I over there.
You know where he's going. Over here.
OK, thank you.
You done? Do you watch The Good Wife?
No.
Oh, that's brilliant as well. Oh, Orange is the New Black. That's
supposed to be good, yeah. Is that good?
brilliant. Brilliant.
Orange is the New Black, yeah.
It's all women. And blokes like it. There's a lot of lesbian action in there. You didn't tell your dad about that, just be watching it. That Netflix is the gift that gives on giving.
Can I sit up a bit further now?
Yeah, of course you can. Lean forward for me. Brilliant, there we go.
Oh, that's better. Could I have a cup of tea?
Of course you can. Yeah, of course.
I
Fine.
have a mug of tea.
A mug of tea. We don't have any mugs, we've just got the cups, unfortunately.
Perhaps I can have a second cup then, can I?
Yeah, no, of course, yeah, we can get, yeah, that's fine, that's no problem. I'll be back now, okay.
I think a lot of the time, it's very easy with the slightly older patient to think that could have been my mum, that could have been my gran or granddad, and I try and deliver the care to them as I would hope it would be delivered to my relatives.
Okay.
Thank you.
There you go. So the one with the spoonings, that's got the sugar in, that one hasn't, all right.
That's lovely.
When I've been in hospital as a relative of a patient, being offered a cup of tea, being given a cup of tea and being informed about a decision really made a massive difference.
Doctors are reviewing the results of Margaret's brain scan to look for signs of a stroke and to discover if the uncontrollable movement in her leg is a result of neurological damage.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Are you a friend of Margaret's?
Yes.
Are you Barbara?
Yes, I am.
Well, do you mind if I tell Barbara as well as you the plan, just to be clear about what's happening?
Yeah.
We think probably this sign of a stroke.
She had a brain scan.
So we've had an initial CT scan.
I've got a brain, I have.
Yeah, there's a brain.
They found a brain in there.
And there's possibly signs of a stroke already on the CT scan. And it's just it's difficult to tell what's caused it exactly. But you have got, as you say, your arm has got better and the leg, you've got some movement in there. I suspect you'll make quite a good recovery from this, but we'd like to bring you up to the ward to see how you get on and do a repeat scan tomorrow.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So the nurses will move you up to the ward when a bed becomes available, OK?
Is it OK if I stay?
Not a problem.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Margaret will now be moved to the stroke ward to be given a blood-thinning drug to prevent a further stroke and any long-term damage to her brain.
It is a special friendship. We've known each other for so long.
That's the first time I've ever had a ride in an ambulance with blue lights. They're not very comfortable. Are they not?
I don't think Maureen's changed at all over the years, yes. I think she still thinks she's 21 again.
The ambulance man said to me, have you got any preference for nice men? He said, how do you like them? I said, good looking and strong muscles. One of them said, I remember the Charleston. I said, well, as long as George Clooney doesn't see me like this. I said, that's all right.
Why have you never got married?
Came close to it once, and I changed my mind. It wasn't for me, which I discovered. I'd had a few boyfriends down through the years, yes. I used to enjoy going fishing at 5 o'clock in the morning in the pouring rain with one of them. I never wanted to be tied down. I never liked the idea of being, you know, tied down to anything. I like to be free, make my own decisions.
I went into BHS, but couldn't find any trousers I really liked.
I treat you to it, but
You don't have to treat me to anything.
for being such...
No, don't be silly.
She's gone on and got married and had children and got grandchildren. And I've carried on my happy-go-lucky, sweet way of doing what I want to do.
What would I have done without you? That's all right, you'd have coped.
It means a lot to me to have friends like Babs. I look on her more like a sister than anything else.
Okie doke, thank you.
I've had a very nice life. I've never been rich, but I've never wanted for anything. And I quite enjoy the way I've lived my life up to now.
Hello, St George's Resource. Okay. Over handlebars. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
It's a 13-year-old that's fallen off their bike going at fast speed with a head injury, vomiting, GCS of 14.
On that side? Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Do you want me to put it out?
Paramedics are bringing in a 13-year-old cyclist after she was thrown from her bike at high speed.
In a trauma situation with children, I think it's a lot of responsibility. Pediatric trauma call, ETA 12 minutes. That's where you really need to be on the game and know what you're doing and make decisions very quickly.
13-year-old fallen off a push bike.
35, 40 miles an hour down a hill.
The girl was competing at a cycle club race meeting when she crashed her bike, landing on her head. Her mum was called to the scene of the accident and is travelling with her in the ambulance.
The cycle club called me and said, oh, Samantha's had an accident on her bike. And I didn't take it too seriously to begin with. She falls off her bike regularly. She's in a cycle club, these things happen. Outside, Sam. When I got to the site, I saw how bad she was. She's normally so vibrant and moves around and chats, and it was so unusual that she'd just drift off to sleep and you wouldn't be there for her. And then when she looked at you, there was no one there. There wasn't Samantha, there was no one in the eyes. So, oh, hello, it's Mummy. And it was almost like I could have been a robot, I could have been anybody.
Race. This is Sam. Sam's 13. Sam's fallen off her bicycle. She's going quite fast, going around the corner. As she's gone, the handlebar's gone, and she's gone straight over the top. Landed on her head. She's also complaining of pain all down the spine. So as you can see, she's had several episodes
vomiting, nausea.
Sorry, Jim.
You're going to be sick again.
Suction, suction, suction.
I got you.
I'd swing from she's going to die to she'll be fine, she'll wake up. And I couldn't fix her. It was almost like I wasn't responsible anymore. I had to stop being a parent and let the professionals do their job. And that's when the enormity of the situation hit me.
Hey Sam, my name's Stevie. I'm one of the doctors. I'm just gonna have a feel of your neck, okay? And shout out if you feel any pain, all right? Ow! Sorry, darling. Ow, 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 ow.
Sam's cycle helmet was badly damaged, and doctors are concerned her vomiting and lack of consciousness could be the result of a significant brain injury.
We have it, Ivy.
You feel like you're gonna throw up? Just turn around.
That was my early 30s when I had Samantha.
Everyone ready? Ready, steady, down.
Because I'd waited a long time to have a child, we were very grateful. She's more than I could possibly imagine. When I gave birth to Samantha, my husband gave me a card that just said thank you. Oh, sorry, I have to stop.
Anne says that you're concussed, and I said no. I said you're lucky. Didn't hit the back of your head, really. And that's, we're in the audience.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there he goes again. Oh, hello.
Superb.
See if you fell out. I did. Paving slab, cut the top of my head here.
Well, Bassie. Oh, hello, Bab, all right. What a place to meet. He's having his head stitched.
Oh, he's so poor.
She's seen his head. He had a big dint in it. We thought his brains were coming out, didn't we?
Is it so?
Yeah.
I'm just cleaning around the area.
Did your mum suffer from morning sickness?
No idea.
It's a good place for having children.
You want to make you crank.
No.
We're not having babies anyway.
As if you've got any say in it.
A few more years for us, though, innit?
Yeah,
4 or 5 more years.
You better not be. I'll be too bleeding old to babysit anybody. And when my grandson comes along, or granddaughter, we shall have to get him to learn a foreign language. Apparently Peter speaks Japanese without an accent now.
Without what accent?
Without a Brummie accent.
Your Tom doesn't want to play.
It's good practice for you, this, anyway. When you get bigger and you want to be a doctor, there you go. You know what you got to do.
How important have your parents been in your life?
I have a great relationship with my mum. She's awesome. So, like, you know, she's a person who I suppose, you know, will ring me up or I'll ring her up and I'll be like, oh, hey, mum, you never guess what? This happened. And she'll be like, no way.
I go home to get spoiled. It's true.
Get waited on hand and foot. I get bought things. I get taken out for dinner.
My mum is a softer one. She's the one who calls me like every week.
She's always said to me, you know, Tim, whatever you do, doesn't really matter. I'm always going to be there. I'm always going to support you. But you need to make sure you do something that you love, something that you enjoy.
Hello, Lucas. Sorry to hear about your injury. You're very brave. I can see that you're quite upset about this, but we're here to make you better, okay?
The love that parents have is amazing because it never dies. It never subdues and maintains that throughout life. And it's one of the beautiful things of life, and you should always embrace that.
Sam, do you know where you are? No. Okay. You're in hospital at the moment.
13-year-old cyclist Sam fell off her bike during a race at high speed, landing on her head. She's been in and out of consciousness and vomiting since the accident.
We'll get Mummy in to see you.
If you just come to this side,
Should we give some IV paracetamol as well if she's a bit sore?
So tell me, what's the story?
She was on a push bike thing. She was going quite fast along with others, but then she had an accident and she got thrown off the bike.
I see.
Landed on her head. She vomited a lot. We're going to scan her head and scan her abdomen and pelvis for the time being.
I think it's sensible. Sounds like a significant mechanism.
Mum, hi, I'm Simon. I'm another one of the doctors. Her vomiting might just be a sort of reaction to the shock of everything, but it can also be a sign of a sort of more significant head injury. So we're going to pop her through the CT scanner. We're going to get a scan of her brain, and we'll get a scan of her belly as well, just to make sure she's not done any internal damage.
Samantha as a baby was a complete nightmare. She cried all the time. It was horrid. I thought I was doing something wrong. We've discovered, when you do the weaning, that it was actually hunger. She still has hollow legs to these days. She eats more than her daddy. And whenever she's grumpy, it's because she's hungry.
I'm going to be ill. I'm going to be ill.
You're going to be sick, are you? All right, sweetie, let's get you
Can we have some hands to turn?
Wait down. Got it?
Okay.
A year and a half ago, I became partially sighted. Woke up one morning and I had no central vision.
Everybody ready? Ready, steady, slide.
And I thought something was in my eye. And I went to Kingston A&E. And I thought they were going to tell me it was a scratch in my eye and I could go home, or they'd put some drops in my eyes and it'd be fine. It didn't occur to me for a moment that it would be permanent.
You're going to have a scan of your head now, OK? The doctor's going to stay with you in case you feel sick. You just need to tell him if you're going to feel sick, all right? All right, sweetie?
Samantha has to read for me and be my eyes occasionally. She will sit down at a restaurant, she will immediately read me the menu, if it's just the two of us. If there are other adults present, she won't. I don't know whether she feels that she's too embarrassed to, or she doesn't want to embarrass me. She's very good, she's found it very scary. And it is scary how my daughter has to be my carer because I'm partially sighted.
We've got a full one very quick, and then we can get her off.
We can get her off, great.
You all right there, Sam?
I can't see her detail of her face. You get to know from her voice how she feels.
Steady, steady.
I do miss counting her freckles. Silly thing, I used to watch her sleep and count her freckles.
Sam is being taken back to resus while doctors examine her scans for any life-changing injuries. "84-year-old Ursula is being brought into resus. She's had a series of severe nosebleeds. Paramedics are concerned she's losing a large amount of blood. She's been suffering prolonged episodes of bleeding for over a year.
I was born in Germany, in Hamburg, on the 31st of the 3rd, 30. I was in the Blitz when they bombed Hamburg for 3 days and 3 nights. They bombed it continuously, never stopped. And I was on the toilet all that time. I used to be frightened. Can you imagine it? All them bombs dropping.
And what happened then?
Well, I had all this blood coming out, blood clots in there. But I filled 3 waste paper baskets up.
That stuff is too precious to be thrown around like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
A specialist ENT nurse has been called to try and stop the bleeding, to avoid Ursula's blood pressure dropping to a dangerously low level.
Where are you from again?
Me? Germany.
Oh,
yeah.
You should know that name, Ursula, of course.
But I come over here to marry an Englishman.
Yeah.
I met my husband in Germany. He was stationed there. He was a soldier.
And he was a British soldier?
Yes. He was a royal engineer. He was tall, he's dark, he's curly hair, and very funny.
You have a great big clot there.
Yeah.
Okay, that I need to suck out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you Hoover. Yeah. I was 15. I met him in Hamburg on the fairground. He just chatted me up. I couldn't speak English. I didn't know what he was talking about. He got some chocolate out and all that, which we didn't have. We didn't have anything like that to eat, And he says, "Can I see you again?" I thought to myself, yeah, why not? A really naughty girl I was in those days.
Well done, well done.
But then he said, "I must see you," he says, and told him to come up and meet my parents. Because he said to my dad and my mum he would like to marry me. It was a sore subject, that was. English, we used to call them Tommies. They weren't very pleased with it, My grandfather went mad. He says, "You can't marry one of them."
That's it.
You done it. Thank you. I was going to give you a kiss then. Oh, God, I hate being prodded about.
I know.
Ursula's nosebleed has been stemmed, but she's still at risk of further bleeding and will be monitored in resus.
Okay. I can't promise that you're not going to get another bleed. Okay.
You're really nice, you are.
Yeah, man, bless. Hey.
Hello, sir.
I said, I better go and find Lindsay. I'm trying to think where he was now.
Oh, gosh.
My husband's having his stitches put in.
Can't take you anywhere, Bernard, can we?
Oh, lovings.
She found me.
For a bit of attention, this one. You've been really brave.
The injection was probably the worst part for him.
He was.
Wow, you've been really brave. We're really proud of you.
He looks like the elephant man with that on his face, doesn't he?
Look.
Oh, you look like a right dog.
They won't let us into that fancy restaurant now.
Oh.
That's your modelling career gone.
Are you going to have a scar there now?
Oh, yeah, I won't.
It doesn't matter. It just blend in with the wrinkles, don't it? You don't worry about scars at our age.
Oh, let me get a picture.
Yeah, take a picture. Take a picture.
Well, let me get one as well.
You don't want
I don't want to show you because you'll be scared.
Oh, well.
You
Still
probably
look
have
beautiful, babe.
You probably have a...
Mwah. Kiss it back. You don't use that.
Can't get out of here.
Oh, get some fresh air.
Sadly not.
You only got me as a customer tonight? No.
84-year-old Ursula was brought to resus 45 minutes ago with a severe nosebleed.
I moved to England on the 18th of December 1947 in a cargo boat. Landed in Hull, up north. And you had to be married within 3 weeks, otherwise you get deported back again. Well, I got married on the 24th of January in 48. Do you get a lot of people having this?
Yes.
I wonder what that is.
Because as you get older, your blood vessels get more brittle instead of being bendy.
Yeah. First of all, I got a cleaning job. Anybody can do that, can't they? They don't have to talk English. Even when I had my kids, I used to go back to work. My husband used to look after the kids at night, and I used to go from 6 to 10 to work. That too, didn't you? If you haven't got no money.
Don't you, girl?
Ursula's nosebleed began at home, where she lives with her daughter and grandchildren.
My daughter started crying, yeah.
You're frightened the living daylights out of her?
Yeah, because she said she'd never seen me like that. So because I'm a very tough old thing, you know.
She used to cook the German way, so we always had good food. I mean, the dinners were amazing and things like that. My dad was a very laid-back person. He would never argue. You'd never hear them fighting or arguing. He used to call her Ducks for some reason, all the time. All right, Ducks, do you want a cup of tea, Ducks? You know, don't know. It's just what he used to call her.
Was married life good?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, no trouble there. No trouble there. He was a bit boring. He wasn't the greatest lover, but at least I could rely on him. That's very important, isn't it? I think so. Oh. So what? Yeah. It's bleeding again, Yvonne.
Can I just see the back of your throat?
Yeah.
If you turn towards me and just say, ah.
Ah.
I think you're bleeding, darling.
Yeah.
Down the back of your throat. And I've cauterised you, it's not working.
Ursula's nosebleed is proving difficult to stop, and there's a risk of her blood pressure and heart rate suddenly dropping.
I remember my dad coming home from work one day, and I remember him being to the doctors, and I was told by my mum at that time that he'd coughed up some blood.
And he had a bad chest, you know. He kept on going to the doctors. He had lung cancer.
We nursed him at home. We had the bed in the front room. I'd hear her crying, obviously not in front of him. I could hear her crying.
Well, I just looked after him. Well, my duty, isn't it?
My father passed away August 1976. She was heartbroken.
I was 46 when he died. Didn't get married again. I didn't want to. He was so kind, you know. If you have somebody you live with who's kind and treats you well, you don't want to know, do you?
This pain on anyone. I literally just sat on the bed with this and I moved back and I felt a click. That was it.
Oh man.
I know, slip disc.
Yeah.
Painful.
Very painful. I'm supposed to be flying to Brazil tomorrow.
No. You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's sorry.
Tickets to watch the games and everything.
Hello, lovely. Mummy's here.
13-year-old Sam was brought into A&E 2 hours ago after being thrown off her bike onto her head. Doctors are reviewing her CT scan to discover if she's suffered any significant brain or internal injuries.
Samantha got her first bike when she was 3, and it was so tiny, and she'd pedal like the clappers. And she thought it was brilliant. It was her freedom. She loved it. Wheels, anything with wheels. She loved motorbikes. She liked the dolls, not so much, but she liked the boys' toys.
So, yes, Mum?
Yes.
So, sorry, do you want to
No, go for it.
So, we've looked at the CT head
Mm-hmm.
and the CT of the abdomen and pelvis. The good news is nothing was injured that we have picked up on the scan. So I'm almost certain that she's got some degree of head concussions because of the vomiting.
Yes.
Okay. So hopefully that means with things settling down, she'll improve. So so far.
So far, so good.
So good, yeah. So yes.
Okay, hey. Mwah.
With her scan all clear, Sam will be moved to a paediatric ward for monitoring.
Do you think the pain relief's kicking in? Just squeeze my hand if it is. You don't know. That normally means it is.
I think any parent's hopes and dreams for their child is that they're happy and they live a full and happy life. I don't want her to be my carer. I want her to move out and have her own life.
Is that, are they happy?
Yeah.
Cool.
Provided.
Awesome.
No, obviously, that's good. Thanks.
Awesome, cheers.
She loves animals. She's determined she's going to work with animals. I don't think anyone's going to stop her. It may take her a long time to get where she wants to go, but she's fairly stubborn.
But I hope I don't see you again tonight, because if I need to see you again tonight, it'll be because you're bleeding.
Oh, I'll be quiet then. It will be. Oh dear.
84-year-old Ursula has been having recurring nosebleeds for the last few hours.
Do you have to have the curtain shut? Oh yeah, I expect so, do you? Yeah, it was horrible, wasn't it? Yeah, that's nice. I can see what they're up to there. Oh dear.
Over the past year, Ursula's bleeds have become more frequent, and her daughter Julia has become her primary carer.
She's always been a very, very independent woman, very independent, always worked all her life. All I've ever known her to do is work. She's always done the housework, the cooking, she's always done the decorating. But obviously, when she's not well, when she had these nosebleeds, she couldn't cook her own meals because she can't stand up that long. Also, she got rheumatoid arthritis and she was struggling. It was getting worse, and my husband sort of said, look, you're not going to cope on your own. Why don't you come and move in with us? So I had to see someone that was always very independent, and it's probably why she gets so frustrated sometimes, because she can't do the things she used to do.
I tell you what, I feel a bit cold. Can I have something over, please? Now my life is sort of just running around the kids. My little great-grandchildren, they're gorgeous. I wish you could see them. They're absolutely adorable. Little buggers, but the little one is a very little one. I'm causing her trouble.
You are?
Yeah, well...
Challenging her, aren't you?
Yeah, well...
Staff have managed to control her bleeding, and Ursula will now be moved to a ward to be assessed before going home.
I had quite a good life. Now I'm so pleased. But then again, I've got to die one day, haven't I? This is the way I looked at it. I thought, well, if I got to go, I got to go. You can only go one way, can't you?
I think that good friends are very hard to come by, and when you get them, you hold on to them, which I've always managed to do until they pop their clogs.
Do you remember seeing Mummy when you woke up?
I seem to remember she was asleep on the chair next to me. It was a nice comfort to see her, and I woke up and just said to my mum, I'm hungry.
I made friends with this doctor. He's a nice-looking chap, you see. So I said to him, you're lucky I'm so old. So he says, why is that, Ursula? I said, well, I would chase you if I was younger. I would chase you all over the hospital. So he said, no, you mustn't say things like that. I said, why not? I said, I would. Oh, he went all red, all his face went red, his ears went red, and I thought that was really funny. Oh, dear.